We've all heard of it, the Seattle freeze. It's the idea that Seattleites may seem standoffish or even cold to newcomers. Now the Seattle Chamber of Connection is working to beat the freeze and welcome instead a Seattle bear hug. Steve is in the Arc Lounge this morning with Charlotte Massey, the co-founder of the Seattle Chamber of Connection. Steve?
Yes, this is a really cool idea, and thank you for coming in this morning. It's good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we had Aaron Hurst on the show recently to talk about these Seattle Welcome Days, and I know that one, I think, was just held this past weekend at Town Hall Seattle, right?
Yes, we just had our first welcome day. It was a huge success.
Yeah.
We had amazing attendance and so much enthusiasm, both from the newcomers who attended and from our volunteers. We have over 100 volunteers who helped us put the program on.
Amazing. And where does it go from here? When's the next one coming up? Are you guys making any sort of tweaks or anything for the next one?
We're making some tweaks, but we were really excited that there was so much enthusiasm for exactly how we designed the program. We're going to keep most of the core programming the same. We're hosting one welcome day a month, and the next one is coming up on March 1st.
Why do you think there's so much response for this, or so much learning for this, or longing, I should say, about people wanting to see this type of concept come to Seattle?
It's so needed. We're never taught how to connect. We know that we need to. We know that we need to make friends and we need to have community. But as an adult, we don't have systems in place as a society to make it easy to connect with others. And we're not taught that it's a process. It's an active process that you need to follow as an individual in order to build your community and make friends, because we don't have those systems in place structurally. And so people are really excited to have structure that can allow them to talk to strangers and meet new friends in a way that feels safe and that is accessible for everyone.
What I love about talking with you today is it happens to be National Make a Friend Day, which is very timely. And I know that the Chamber established something called the 6 Points of Connection, and this is kind of a checklist for people to define and strengthen their social bonds. So kind of give us a quick overview of what those are and why they're important.
Yeah, so the 6 points of connections, as you said, are a checklist to help you figure out both where you might be missing connection if you already feel pretty well established, and a starting point if you're moving to a new city. So if you recently moved to Seattle and you are completely disconnected, the 6 points are a place to start in building your connected life. And it ranges from things like you should have an emergency contact in your neighborhood. You should know who your neighbors are so that if something goes wrong, you have someone to call. And then you should also have close friends who you can spend time with one-on-one at least twice a week.
Yeah.
You should be part of a group that's based around an interest and also part of a group that's based around an identity. And you should also have a third place that you can go besides just being at home and being at work. And the last one is you should be volunteering in the community. So you should be able to go out and give back, and that has so many benefits for the community, but also benefits for you as well.
Good way to make friends.
It's a great way to make friends.
And you're helping the community overall.
Yeah.
You and I were chatting during the commercial break, and your story is somewhat similar to mine in that you're local, grew up in the Leavenworth area, moved away for school, and then came back. So when you came back, you know, you're from here, you kind of know what it's like around this region. Did you find it hard to maybe make new friendships or maybe reestablish some of the ones that you had when you were growing up in Central Washington?
I definitely found it challenging.
Okay.
I grew up in Leavenworth, which only has about 2,000 people,
Yeah.
so I knew everyone. But moving to Seattle, I was in the big city, and I moved in October of 2021, so it was during the pandemic and also during the winter.
Yeah.
And it was really challenging to make friends. I was working remotely, so there was no automatic way for me to meet people. And at first, that was really difficult. And then I accepted that if I was going to build a connected life for myself, I was going to have to take really targeted action. So I ended up basically building myself a friendship CRM in Excel and randomly DMing people on LinkedIn and Instagram and TikTok in order to find people who would go on friend dates with me, so that I could meet new people. And then I had really targeted strategies for making those friends become friends with each other. So I felt like I had to build a whole system for myself in order to build my community. And I'm really excited that now with the Chamber of Connection and the 6 Points of Connection, we have a structure that makes it much easier, so you don't have to invent it yourself. You can follow a designated path that's built by connection experts.
When you sort of created that system or that path for yourself, were there difficulties with that, and how did you overcome those?
There were definitely difficulties. Something I had to accept was that not everyone who I reached out to, or even everyone who I did meet up with, was going to be a good friend for me.
Yeah.
Even if they were an amazing person, they might be on a different schedule than me or live across the city, and so we weren't really going to be able to spend time together to the extent that I was looking for, because I was starting with almost no connections, and so I needed to build a full friend roster for myself. And that was difficult to accept. It felt like a personal failing, or like there was something wrong with me because I wasn't able to have an immediate deep connections.
Yeah.
And that's normal. It takes about 200 hours to develop a best friendship. So it's unrealistic that you're going to have that immediately. You have to put in the time and put in the work.
200 hours is a long time.
It is.
I mean, that takes probably at least weeks or months before that friendship is formed. So I guess we all have to learn how to breathe a little bit, right? So, I mean, give ourselves some grace with that process.
Definitely.
What other resources would you say are out there to sort of help people as they're trying to navigate this friendship world, whether they're, like from this area like yourself or myself, or moving to this area for the first time and experiencing it for the first time?
I think Welcome Day is the best place to start, because we have resources to point you in every direction in order to fulfill whatever of the 6 points are missing for you. And then we also have neighborhood clubhouses that meet every 2 weeks right now in 7 neighborhoods across the city. And those are places that are basically continuing education after Welcome Day. So each time we work through one of the 6 points of connection, and you're able to not only meet new people who are also new to the city, but work together on strategies to create your connected life. And then there's also so many groups in Seattle that are based around interests and identity. So whatever your interests are, just search online, and I'm sure you'll find a group that is really specifically focused on your interest area.
That's gonna be a
and
good
don't be
fit.
afraid to show up and introduce yourself.
Yeah, take that initiative, because it may result in a really lasting and long-term friendship, which would be really amazing.
Absolutely.
When is the next Welcome Day?
The next Welcome Day is on March 1st.
March 1st, and where's that at?
It's at Town Hall, and you can
Also
register on
Town Hall.
Town Hall's website.
Perfect. And we're going to be going out with this Seattle Bear today to experience what that's like, and sort of spreading joy and helping to create those friendships and really change that perception of that whole Seattle freeze, Tyra.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to going out with the Welcome Bear,
That's
Steve.
right.
I love their mission. I mean, what a great way to remind people that kindness and friends are still out there.
Yes, they are, and they can go a long way.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you both. For more information on the Seattle Chamber of Connection and the next Welcome event, we made it easy for you. Sounds fun to attend, right? You can scan the QR code on your screen. That'll take you directly to komonews.com/hotlinks. From there, you'll find a link to the website.